UFC 286. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Main event, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3 for the welterweight championship. Looking forward to talking about each of these matchups. Make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Full card fight companion live 1 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Do not miss it. And let's get into our first fight of the night. It starts off with Veronica Hardy versus Juliana Miller. Now, Hardy, formerly Machado, fought in the UFC, took some L's. You see the 6-4-1 record. I'm picking Juliana Miller. I have to go with the girl who's the Ultimate Fighter winner and looked tremendous through that entire tournament. She's nasty from the top position. Just a brutal girl to deal with overall. Developing stand-up game. I don't know. Gives me like a female Diaz brother flow a little bit. Doesn't quit. Constant pressure. She's got developing stand-up, and on the floor, she's a menace. I know Hardy does have solid jiu-jitsu skills, but inside of cage fighting, she has not done a good job throughout the UFC. I mean, look at the last 5. She retired after this fight nearly 3 years ago against Bia Malecki. Now you're going to come back against Juliana Miller, who just went through a ringer of hell through the Ultimate Fighter. This is going to be one-sided. Miller's going to submit her. Win by submission, Juliana Miller. I don't think this fight is very competitive. Miller's minus 400 as the favorite. She deserves that tag. Plus 340 for Veronica. It says Macedo there, Machado, but it's Veronica Hardy. So different last name after she married Dan Hardy, former UFC commentator and fighter. Juliana Miller's going to take her out. I think she's winning by submission. I'm confident riding that side. Too much experience in recent time. I mean, since Veronica Hardy's been out, Miller's made a career for herself. Ultimate Fighter winner. She keeps the streak alive. We're going with Juliana Miller. High confidence. Let's keep running. Let's get to our second fight. It's Jai Herbert versus Ľudovít Klein. I'm picking Jai Herbert. I think he can win this fight. Ľudovít Klein formerly has fought in the featherweight division and tends to struggle against taller fighters. Aiden Lee is a British kickboxer who submitted Ľudovít Klein. He's also very tall like a Jai Herbert. Not as tall as Jai. Herbert is a long, rangy kickboxer. He also has a decent enough ground game. Ľudovít Klein, I do think, has the more explosive one-punch power. Maybe more explosive and dangerous, but he's going to be at a big disadvantage of the reach. Jai Herbert fighting in front of the English crowd, and he's honestly not a bad fighter either. I like Jai Herbert's stand-up game. I mean, he knocked Ilia Topuria down. He hurt him badly in that fight. He's got dangerous high kicks. He's got a game opponent in Ľudovít Klein, but he's going to come through. I see him winning this fight. I think in the grappling exchanges, I think Jai Herbert could even get a little bit of an edge on Ľudovít Klein inside of the clinch. I think the range for Herbert's going to be there. He's going to be able to hit Klein from where he can't be hit. I see Jai Herbert and him in a competitive fight win. Unanimous decision for Jai Herbert. I'm going underdog Jai Herbert to beat Ľudovít Klein. As far as the odds, Jai is sitting at around plus 148. Ľudovít Klein at minus 155. Yeah, dog money. Jai Herbert for the win. I think he's getting this thing done. Money line it. I like Jai to win. He beats Ľudovít here. Fun fight. Good striking battle. Next fight on the card, Joanne Wood versus Luana Carolina. Listen, I'm picking Joanne Wood. I'm not going to just go dog chasing Luana Carolina because Wood has lost a lot of fights. You look at the name value of losses for Joanne Wood. Alexa Grasso, current flyweight champion. Talia Santos, maybe the best flyweight in the world. She lost a controversial-ish decision to Shevchenko. Lauren Murphy, right at the top of the weight class, just lost to Andrade, but tough as fuck, and it's a split. Win over Jessica Ive, former top contender. Lost to Jennifer Maia. Gave Valentina Shevchenko hell. Luana Carolina is not super skilled. She's more athletic and like herky-jerky, awkward stand-up. I'm picking Joanne Wood to win. I think she can get the submission here. Lost to Molly McCann, and Molly Meatballs brought heat to her with the striking. You see a win over Lupita Godinez. That's a good win to have. Granted, Lupi, maybe an overrated girl that was fighting from 115 up a weight class. The Botello win, okay, it's a split. Lipsky knee barred her. Lipsky is known purely for the kickboxing. She looked really good against J.J. Aldrich, but she gets a knee bar on you? Joanne Wood should win this fight by submission. Even at 37, not in her prime of primes, she should beat a sloppy fighter at the low level of a Luana Carolina, an awkward striker who's herky-jerky and just, I think, very beatable, especially on the floor. If Wood can get a hold of her, take her down. Even in the striking, I see Wood landing better shots, chopping at the legs, the front kicks up the center. Yeah, Joanne Wood for the win. I think she's getting this thing done. I'm going to say she gets a sub. As far as the money line odds, if we can find Joanne Wood over here. Here we go. -163 for Wood, +165 for Luana Carolina. I like the Joanne Wood side. I'm riding with her to win. She gets it done. She snaps the losing streak. She's only losing a top level. Luana Carolina's far from that. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, Jake Hadley and Malcolm Gordon. The odds are very wide for this fight, and I am picking Jake Hadley, who's a big favorite. But Malcolm Gordon's a junkyard dog. He's been tough in fights. I mean, he went long with Mokaev. Big upset win over Figueiredo. The Denise Bondar fight was weird because Bondar got injured. But Malcolm Gordon, after, a rough early go in the UFC, I mean, he got crushed by Amir Albazi, Sumer Raji, quick knockout losses. I don't think he's chinny. Jake Hadley isn't this huge one-punch striker. He's got good stand-up skills, and I mean, he's a dangerous southpaw with pretty slick kicking and punching. He mixes it up well on the floor. Jake Hadley's got some solid jiu-jitsu, but Malcolm Gordon also is dangerous on the ground. I actually see this as a competitive fight. The odds are way wrong here. So is Malcolm Gordon a terrible underdog? No. But I just don't feel like he's my pick this week. I'm going with Jake Hadley to win the fight by a decision, but Malcolm Gordon is live. And not an easy fight. The odds are very swelled. They're inflated. They shouldn't be this wide, in my opinion. Hadley is around -330, and then Malcolm Gordon at +310. That's too wide. If you want to have Hadley at 2-1, that's fair, but way too wide of a favorite, Jake Hadley. He's not a lock of the week. He's in a real dog fight with Malcolm Gordon. I think he comes through and wins a competitive decision, but like I said, I don't think Gordon's a crazy underdog if you're attacking him. He's looked better in recent fights, and I mean, he gave Mokaev some challenges. He still lost by finish at the end of it, but he was real tough in that fight. Jake Hadley, I'm going to pick him to win. Competitive fight. He wins a decision. But yeah, the odds are crazy for this matchup. Way too wide. No sense with those odds, in my opinion. I don't get it. I guess they're trying to maybe trap you to maybe try to attack the dog who isn't going to win, or you can look at it the other side, play that crazy wide favorite, then he takes an L. Let's get to this fight. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Duško Todorović. I'm picking Christian Leroy Duncan. He's a dangerous kickboxer. Now, in an earlier fight of his career, he actually got 2 fights with the guy. He was taken down. He was controlled a bit on the floor. He finds ways up to the feet. Duško Todorović isn't an awful wrestler, but he's not very good. Duško Todorović, overall, he's a sloppy striker who's a little bit slow with his head movement and hittable down the center. He doesn't really start fast. I mean, Jordan Wright whooped his ass in that first round. And then Jordan Wright, he doesn't have a gas tank, so obviously Duško gets the win. Christian Duncan should be able to outstrike a Duško Todorović. I think he should be en route to a knockout win. I feel he can find the kill shot and put him down. I'm going with the rangy kickboxer in Duncan to get it done. Former Cage Warriors champ, athletic kickboxer, some flying knees in the arsenal. He's not afraid to get a little bit crazy. Duško with like a typical tight boxing style, but doesn't have great head movement. He's kind of slow with his punches, wing shots, but not crazy power on him. He brings pressure, but he's open to a lot of shots. Christian Leroy Duncan for the knockout. I feel pretty good about this one. Pretty confident that he beats a Duško. He has to beat a Duško to be anything in the UFC. -175 for Leroy Duncan, and then it's like +175 for Duško. Listen, Duško's lost to the Punale Sorianos of the world. I think Leroy Duncan's better than that. He's got to get through Duško Todorović. He's gonna. Duncan for the knockout. Confident pick. In England, too. The British fighter gets it done. Let's keep running up the card. Next matchup, Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. Listen, the 10-0 Gabriel Santos is a good prospect, but I'm picking Lerone Murphy to knock him out. I believe 2 fights ago, Santos was wobbled bad in the first round. He fought Elves Brenner and had a very competitive back-and-forth fight. Elves Brenner does have a win in the UFC over Zabira Tuhugov, which, granted, Controversial decision. Tuhugov won the fight. Lerone Murphy has a draw, so if we're going crazy with MMA math, fuck that shit. Lerone Murphy should knock out Santos. He's too young at this point. I mean, he looks 12 years old in that picture. He's actually 26, so he's not a child, but he looks like mad young in this pic. That's crazy. Lerone Murphy's got punching power, and he's pretty good out of both stances. Bit of a physical specimen. I see him cracking the chin of Santos. I like Santos' kickboxing, though. He's got a strong left hand, good front kicks, rips the legs well, but still, I don't know, too young in the game right now. Yeah, he's 10-0, but not like an 11-0-1 Lerone Murphy. And you're fighting in England. I think Murphy's putting him out. Knockout win. Lerone Murphy should have a bit of a showcase fight. Santos is a bit unknown, but that 10-0 record isn't a joke here. And this is a good W for Lerone Murphy to have. And you're going to see that UFC experience is more important than just a 10-0 record. And granted, Lerone's 11-0-1, but he's been fighting top dogs in, the back end of the UFC. There's still good competition level in that featherweight division, even outside of that top 25. Murphy minus 155. Santos at about plus 150. Yeah, we're going with Lerone Murphy. Confidence is pretty high here. He gets the KO. Santos, too many mistakes, too raw. Not ready for it. Even on the ground when he's scrambling with Brenner, he's ending up on the bottom of Mount. Murphy will knock you out from there. But Murphy's going to, I think, flatline him on the feet. We're going KO win. Lerone Murphy, 12-0-1 on the way this weekend for the Brit. In front of his home crowd, too. This is a good, star-making opportunity for Lerone Murphy if he gets it done. He will. Next fight, Mokaev versus Jafel Filho. Listen, it doesn't matter how his name is said. Doesn't matter how it's spelled. The pastor, we'll call him, is getting destroyed here. Mokaev should run over Filho. I think he's going to take him down. I think he's going to beat him up. I think the Punisher's a good nickname. I expect some ground and pound. It'll soften Filho up. And then I think Mokaev gets a submission win. He's getting the finish in this fight. He looks for finishes. I know the Charles Johnson fight, he didn't get one. Johnson, incredibly durable guy. He got it late against Malcolm Gordon. Now he's fighting Filho. Filho's 14-2. He's got a good record. But, he fought on the Contender Series, right? Echeverria was a 7-0 prospect. He's got some okay wins against, decent records in Brazil and whatnot. But just 5 fights ago, it was 5 years ago. Holy shit. Averaging 1 fight a year. Mokaev, I think, bullies him. Yeah, I don't see this as a competitive fight. Mokaev should get a finish here. In front of the home crowd, this is a showcase fight. This should be an easier fight than Malcolm Gordon and Charles Johnson. Mokaev, win, submission, the Dagestan wrestling all day. The odds for Mokaev, just look for one of the widest lines of the card and we'll find it here. Mokaev, do they not have these odds? No, they're right here. All right. Minus 650 Mokaev. Filho, plus 555. Mokaev submission. Yes, he's a crazy wide favorite. He's going to look dominant. He gets the win. 22-year-old freakish 8-0 prospect on the come up. Dagestan wrestling. Way too much for Filho here. Let's keep running to our next fight. Next fight on the card. Sam Patterson versus Yanal Ashmoz. As much as I really want to go against Sam Patterson because I'm not impressed by him, Ashmoz is small, dude. He's 5'9", fighting a guy 6'3". I looked at Ashmoz at lightweight, and I'm like, you should be at 45. I feel like his frame looks more like a 45. I'm picking Sam Patterson. I think he'll win a decision, but I'm not betting no Sam Patterson. I'm not impressed by Sam Patterson. He's got that upright chin. He's very tall. He's got decent hands, but he doesn't really have a ton of power. He's okay on the floor. I think he's going to win a competitive fight against Ashmoz. Ashmoz is a guy who rips big hooks in close. He'll let the hands fly. I like the way he throws with power. He fought on the PFL Challengers Series, and he showed good ground skills. He can pin you on the ground and kind of dominate. Going to be hard to do with Sam Patterson here. More experience as a pro for Sam Patterson. And, he's fought some decent fighters on that UK scene. I'm going to pick Sam Patterson to win. I'm leaning it by a decision. Ashmoz is 6-0, but he's so young. I'm picking Sam Patterson. Method of victory, we'll see. Well, I'm going to say decision. Could he maybe get a knockout? Feel low confidence about it. Feel low confidence. I'm saying decision win for Sam Patterson. In a competitive fight, I think he outstrikes Ashmoz from the outside. I think it's competitive in the clinch, but Patterson will have a bit of the edge. Ashmoz might land a takedown or two. Patterson will get up and have moments for himself. I'll take Patterson to win on the decision. I can't pick the side of Ashmoz here. He's too undersized, I think, in this matchup. But the odds are crazy. Minus 260 for Sam Patterson. Ashmoz plus 235. Listen, I'm not sold on Sam Patterson, but I'm not telling you pick the dog in this one. We're going Sam Patterson to win. He beats Yanal Ashmoz. I'll say a decision. I think people are going to be real high on him. He might be like that parlay piece of the week. Could it bust? I don't think it does, but I don't feel like Patterson looks that great in this matchup. He's still very raw. And he's so skinny, man. At 6'3", Jalen Turner's a different story. Sam Patterson looks like he needs to eat a sandwich or something. Get him up to 170, fill out those muscles, because he's tall at 170. He's at 155. That's crazy. 6'3", that's insane. He should win here. We're going with Sam Patterson. And I guess Ashmoz at 5'9", not that undersized, but especially in this matchup. And I just don't think this is the best fight for him. It's not a good debut for Ashmoz. Sam Patterson wins in England. Next fight on the card. Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales. So you're asking me to pick between. Let me just describe it before I give the official pick. Chris Duncan, who's super hittable, got knocked out by Slava Claus, and he got dropped in his last fight on the Contender Series. Or a 37-year-old Omar Morales, who seems to be declining a bit, and his chin at this point, who knows if it even holds up anymore. Great pick. Great pick. I'm going with the side of Chris Duncan to win because I just can't pick Omar Morales at this point. He's just looks so slow in that freaking Medic fight. He has good moments and he's powerful and explosive. That head is like a sitting duck. Chris Duncan gets hit every other shot. I can't believe I'm picking him here. I've been torn on this matchup since seeing it, and I picked the side of Chris Duncan, but I'm not jumping up and down with joy. I think this fight ends inside of the distance. I think Duncan's nastier than Morales and wants it more. If someone gets hurt, I could see Morales turtling up, covering, and getting ground and pounded. I see Chris Duncan getting back up to his feet with everything he has. He's getting dropped a lot. He's super hittable, but he also gets back up. He got badly knocked out by Slava, obviously. And you look at these wins. I mean, okay, you beat a 6-1 guy, and you beat a 4-1 guy, a 6-4 guy in between. It's just, besides this Bellator win, it's bad competition level for Duncan. Omar Morales is just not that guy anymore. Like, you feel like he really lost. Giga Chikadze took his soul. He beat Shane Young, but everybody's got to win over Shane Young. Jonathan Pierce dominates him, and then the Euros Medic knockout. Granted, also, Morales up at lightweight after previously being at 45. I liked him better there. I think Duncan's power might be a bit of a problem. I'll go Chris Duncan by knockout. Under 2.5 rounds for sure. Duncan, let's see. He's at plus 100, slight underdog, Chris Duncan. I'm riding with him to beat Omar Morales. Morales, the minus 110 favorite. Yeah, we're going with the Chris Duncan side. I'm ready to drop a tear for it over here. Holy shit, I got burning sweat in my eyes. I'm dropping tears for Chris Duncan's debut. He's getting the knockout. He's sleeping old man Morales, especially at 155. Somebody's getting knocked out. And I'm saying that it's Morales. But listen, this ain't my favorite bet of the year right here. I'll tell you that much. Under is someone's getting KO'd. Let's get to the featured prelim. Jack Shore, Makwan, Amirkhani. I'm picking Jack Shore to win, but we got to acknowledge Makwan Amirkhani is tremendous in the first round of fights. He just only really has a first round. He gasses out. He gives up on himself. Mental lapses. I can't pick a Makwan Amirkhani. Granted, he's fighting a Jack Shore, who previously was at bantamweight, now taking this fight at featherweight. Jack Shore is a more talented fighter than Makwan Amirkhani. He's more well-rounded. He's better with his kickboxing. I think he's got more grit than him. He'll dig deeper for sure. Ricky Simone in the last one strangled him. So people can say, oh, Makwan Amirkhani, he's a bigger dude naturally. He's got a bit of the wrestling. He's got good jiu-jitsu. Yeah, but he's Makwan Amirkhani. He breaks if big shots land. He gives up on himself, like I already said. I'm going Jack Shore to get the win. He should probably get a finish. I can see third round TKO. I mean, Makwan Amirkhani's losing to Edson Barboza. That's not a bad loss. He lost to Camuela Kirk. Lerone Murphy knocked him out, but great. He looked good in the first round. A win over Mike Grundy quick. I was disappointed he won that fight. And then Jonathan Pierce bullies him. I think Jack Shore is still a good prospect. 16-1 versus 17-8. We know the way this fight should go. We're going Jack Shore to get the win. I'll say KO, maybe ground and pound after he hurts a tired Amirkhani on the feet. We'll go with Jack Shore to win. Maybe locks up a sub too. That wouldn't be impossible, but I'm leaning knockout. Jack Shore is minus 450. He's an incredibly wide favorite. Makwan Amirkhani plus 415. Listen, if you want to back Amirkhani just because you're like, yo, I want to throw down on plus money, remember that he quits often, he breaks often, and he's lost a ton of fights. Jack Shore's lost one time in combat. I'm going with Jack Shore. He should get the win. He's a big favorite, but he should still get the win. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Listen, okay? Roman Dolidze's power is starting to evolve a bit. But I also think that win over Jack Hermansson, he's going to be a little bit overrated. I'm thinking Marvin Vettori is way too well-rounded. He's heavy from the top position. He's dangerous on the feet. He brings a lot of forward pressure. He's a southpaw who just kind of doesn't stop. There's a constant volume attack and pressure from Marvin Vettori. He's got to win over Paulo Costa. Roman Dolidze, a guy that people, I think, are hoping pulls it off as an underdog because there's big plus money. He's 34. Whereas Vettori's 29. Vettori's been in there against the best in the world at 29, which might even be, you know, before his real prime begins. Just lost to Robert Whittaker by a decision. I think that Marvin Vettori wins a unanimous decision. I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining fight of all time. I think Vettori pushes the pace on Dolidze a bit, kickboxes him, works him against the cage. I can't see Dolidze finding a submission on Marvin Vettori. I can't see Dolidze landing a knockout punch either. I think he gets cleanly beaten by Marvin Vettori by a unanimous decision. A Vettori type of fight where he's bringing the pressure, making it dirty, and he's just beating you in all areas by a bit. Enough to get his hand raised. Marvin Vettori for the win. He beats Roman Dolidze. I'm not sold on, Dolidze coming out with some crazy knock. It's just not going to happen. Marvin Vettori should win the fight. He's a minus 270 favorite. Yes, he's a big favorite, but he should win. Roman Dolidze plus 250 is the dog. I never really was a big Dolidze believer, even after the Jack Hermansson fight. Okay, he got a crazy move off that was epic. But it's not like Jack Hermansson wasn't having moments there. Marvin Vettori wins a unanimous decision. He's not going to make those type of silly mistakes. And if they go to the ground, it would shock me to see Dolidze find a submission on Marvin Vettori. I'll say that. Marvin Vettori, win, unanimous decision. Let's keep running. Next fight brings us to the ladies who are going after it. It's Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill. You get an unbeaten Casey O'Neill, who was getting touched a bit by Roxanne, versus a 34-year-old Jennifer Maia, who's in the twilight now, towards the twilight of the end of her career. I'm going to pick Jennifer Maia to win a decision. There's a lot of prospects rushing to the top of women's flyweight, right? You saw it with, Erin Blanchfield off. And maybe people are like, yo, Casey O'Neill's next up. She's not a Manon Farrow. She's not an Erin Blanchfield. She's going to lose to Jennifer Maia here. I think she gets outstruck on the feet. I mean, Roxanne's landed some punches on you and got you bloody. Jennifer Maia is levels above the stand-up skills of Roxanne Modafferi. And let's not forget, she's got solid jiu-jitsu as well and wrestling. I can't see Casey O'Neill bullying Jennifer Maia. I think it's going to be competitive moments on the feet. Maia lands the harder shots. Casey O'Neill has good straights and punch combinations, but I don't see any thudding power, especially against a durable girl like Maia. I think Jennifer Maia will land the harder punches. It's a competitive fight. I think Maia's physically stronger too and gets the edge in the clinch. And I think at 34, I'm going to pick Jennifer Maia to pull this thing off and get an upset win over Casey O'Neill. I'm not sold on the Casey O'Neill train just yet. And I think Jennifer Maia is going to be pushing her back down the rankings for a little bit longer. She's only 25. That's mad young in this game. And Jennifer Maia is an OG of OG. Look at the losses. Valentina Shevchenko, she gave her a tough fight. Yeah, it's 2 years ago, but it's Valentina. Beats Jessica Ai, clean win. Caitlin Shukagan, top contender, loss. Manon Farrow, top contender, loss. But these are the creme de la creme. Win over Marina Moroz, clean decision. Jennifer Maia is not done yet. At one point, I thought it might be the end of the road for her. It's not. And I think she beats Casey O'Neill here. I'm taking her to win. Jennifer Maia, unanimous decision, and gives Casey O'Neill her first loss as a professional. Jennifer Maia, the odds for her are somewhere on the screen. If I can find them here. There we go. Jennifer Maia, plus 155. Casey O'Neill, minus 165. I like the plus 150 dog, Jennifer Maia. I think this fight's going the distance, and Maia's getting her hand raised on the scorecards. Underdog, Jennifer Maia, for the win. The O's got to go for Casey O'Neill. She'll keep it in the last name, but no O in the record. Let's get to the featured bout of the night. Gunnar Nelson versus Bryan Barberena. I love me some Bryan Barberena fights, but they got to give him another grappler. Bryan Barberena on the ground is iffy as hell. Jason Witt, because of his wrestling, got a win over Bryan Barberena. Gunnar Nelson's nasty. He's got great back takes and back control. I'm picking Gunnar Nelson. I've always felt like Gunnar Nelson was overrated, and I still feel like it here. I just have a hard time seeing Barberena being able to keep this fight on the feet. If he does keep it on the feet, I think he's dangerous with his volume and punches. But I see Gunnar Nelson landing the takedown, working him against the cage, making this, a very drag-out, grappling-heavy fight. And I think Gunnar Nelson, how can we look at it? Okay, against Takashi Sato, he wins by a decision. That was his first fight in a while, right? He'd been out for about 2.5 years since then. And before that, it was a Gilbert Burns decision loss. Leon Edwards split decision. Gunnar Nelson, that Ponzinibbio loss, that was brutal. That was way back. Alex Oliveira. Gunnar Nelson is like re-emerging in his career. He got a little layup fight against Takashi Sato. He wins a decision. Sato ends up getting knocked out in one shot by Brian Battle. So, not the most impressive win. I'm picking Gunnar Nelson to get this thing done. He should beat Brian Barberena on the floor. The question mark is what happens when they go to the mat. Is it Gunnar Nelson just holding position, or is it finding a finish? I'm going to say Gunnar Nelson does find a finish. I think he's going to look better than he did in his last fight against Takashi Sato. And I'll say submission win for Gunnar Nelson against Brian Barberena. Bad matchup again for Barberena. Just give him strikers. Why be giving him grapplers? Why be giving him fighters that take things to the floor? That's not where Brian Barberena shines. Dos Anjos exposed him and beat him in the last one. Gunnar Nelson's going to find it here. I could see rear naked choke for sure. Back control and then rear naked. Minus 350, Gunnar Nelson. Brian Barberena plus 350. Gunnar should win this thing. It's a wide line, but he should definitely get the win. Sub prop, something to look at. Gunnar Nelson for the W. Beats Brian Barberena. Unfortunately for Mr. Brian Barberena, choosing to take these grapplers on. Let's get to the co-main event of the evening. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev is just too precise. Justin Gaethje was so reckless in that Charles Oliveira fight. He's landing shots on Oliveira, and he hurts him and drops him multiple times. But he's winging these shots from next week, all the way from across his body. Fiziev is a technical striker with extremely high-level skills and awareness of what's coming after him. The blocking is fantastic. The way he keeps his guard up, the way he slip shots, the way he raises his hands to block, he sees everything coming. Justin Gaethje throws with relentless abandon and attack and goes reckless. And he's going to get knocked out. I'm picking Fiziev to KO him. I think he's going to knock him out in the first round. I think we have an epic, action-packed battle of a first round. Justin Gaethje has taken a ton of damage throughout his career. He's also 34 years of age. He's fighting Fiziev, who's on a roll right now. Fiziev is going to KO him. Yeah, I see him finding maybe a lead hook, because Fiziev's got a nasty left hook, and I could see Gaethje getting caught with that, squaring up, just throwing bombs in close. It's going to be violent as long as it lasts, and I think Fiziev puts like a real staple down on this win. Clean knockout. He's beaten Justin Gaethje here. It's sad for Justin Gaethje, but he's taking a lot of big shots. He fights with reckless abandon, and, when he gets stunned, nothing changes. He still goes crazy. I don't see him using wrestling here. If he is trying to wrestle here, Fiziev's got good takedown defense. He showed that against Dos Anjos, who's a monster of a grappler. I think Fiziev's getting a KO in the first round. We're going to get some crazy striking. It's going to be an action-packed fight and one that you'll remember. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of Justin Gaethje's consciousness. It's minus 220 for Rafael Fiziev, plus 206 for Justin Gaethje, riding the side for the win. We got to go Fiziev by knockout. First round. I'm saying it's an epic one-round fight. Epic one-round warfare, and Fiziev's now in the title picture. Wonder what happens with him after this one. Let's get to our main event of the evening. If you guys haven't, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got the trilogy on the line between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman for the world title. They run it back once again. This is their second championship fight, title rematch, but really it's the trilogy, baby. I'm picking Kamaru Usman. I picked him the last time they fought. And up until that high kick, I was perfectly right. Unanimous decision. I think that Usman's output is going to be too much for Edwards, as well as his pressure. His boxing's dangerous. He comes in with heavy shots, and he doesn't break. I mean, Usman's constant. Yeah, you kick him in the face with the perfect timed high kick, like the greatest timed high kick maybe of all time, you'll knock him out. But how many times does that happen in a lifetime? I would say probably 0, but in Leon Edwards' case, 1 time. Usman's going to bring the wrestling pressure. I think he's going to control. He's going to look for takedowns. It's going to be similar to that rematch that we saw last time out. but it's going to be Kamaru Usman at the end of it, getting his hand raised by a unanimous decision. Edwards is a tremendous fighter. He's got great kicking skills. His reflexes are awesome. He's got awesome feints. He's honestly developed good wrestling and jiu-jitsu too, but Kamaru Usman is still one of those welterweight GOATs, maybe the welterweight GOAT. I've said he's the welterweight GOAT. I still think he is. And he needs to win this rivalry here with Leon Edwards to make sure he keeps that cemented. Now, he is 35 years of age. There's obviously knee wear and tear with Kamaru Usman. We know he's got bad knees. But if there's one guy that can lose by brutal knockout and come back better at nearly 36, it's going to be Kamaru Usman. I think Usman gives it his all in this fight, beats Leon Edwards in the rematch. I don't know how much left Usman has in the tank. I don't know how many more camps he can handle. He beats Leon, wins the rivalry. We'll see what's next for him. For Leon Edwards, it'll be unfortunate for him to lose the belt in front of the English fans, but that's just what I see happening. It's Kamaru Usman with a lot of volume, pressure with the striking, clinching against the cage, landing takedowns. Look at the fight. Before that high kick, how that fight was going, aside from that first round, is what I see for Usman again. Unanimous decision, Kamaru Usman. Leon, he had his moment. He doesn't get it this time. Minus 225 for Kamaru Usman. Leon Edwards at plus 205. I'm riding with Kamaru to win the fight. And new champion, and once again champion, Leon Edwards loses to Kamaru in front of his hometown fans. It's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, but for Usman, epic career-defining moment right here, and I think he pulls this one out. So we're riding with Usman in the main event. UFC 286. Bringing a nice card. I'm looking forward to it. As I said earlier, I'm live for the entire thing, so tune into the Fight Companion. Smash the like button, and if you're new, subscribe, and definitely let me know what you think of the picks in the comments. And if you got nothing to say, as always, just drop a W in the chat. Much love, my people. I'll see you all week long breaking down everything UFC 286. I appreciate you all tuning in. Peace, guys.